Minister. So I would like to thank everybody again for coming. On behalf of HP Mauritius, I would like to thank the Honorable Tasarajan Pillay, Chadambram, Minister of IT, Information and Communication Technologies, Mrs. Tina Rose from HP, the anti-counterfeit manager for EMEA and Africa, Mr. Sanjeev Gabaran, the director of Juridis Limited, Mr. Rabin Bajan, the chief editor of L'Express Dimanche, the Customs IPR unit, Mr. Vincent Borelli. So thank you for coming. I would like to invite Mr. Tasarajan Pillay, the Honorable Tasarajan Pillay, to address the Assembly. Thank you.
Well, Mrs. Tina Rose, Marketing Program Manager, Mr. Sanjeev Gabaran, Mr. Vincent Borelli, Mr. Rabin Bajan, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I must say that I'm very happy and deeply honored to be in your midst today on the occasion of that awareness campaign that you're doing on Say Goodbye to Counterfeits. I must say that I have to commend this initiative of HP, because this will help considerably in raising the awareness of people, be it stakeholders, be it government, be it the public in general. They have to be aware of the danger that you have insofar as counterfeits products are concerned. You know, gentlemen, when we have the ambition to make Mauritius a cyber island, when we want to make IT the main pillar of our economy, make Mauritius, have the ambition to make Mauritius the first country in the world which has succeeded in making IT its main pillar, I think we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to avoid or not to use at all any counterfeit product in Mauritius, or to allow these products to come to Mauritius. You know, Mauritius is known as a tourist destination. But when we want to make Mauritius become also a preferred, safe and secure ICT destination, I can't see in what manner we can support those counterfeit products that we actually are having in Mauritius. We must not allow our country to be dumped by fake products, because we know the danger of having these products which may cost you a little sum of money, but with consequences which can be detrimental to your health. So having said that, it's good to know that last year my ministry, together with National Computer Board, which usually falls under the aegis of my ministry, we organized a campaign on Buy Genuine, because we know the potential risk for users' health in using those low quality products. We will have a healthy Mauritius and at the same time a wealthy Mauritius when our people have a sound health. I must say that my ministry is doing its utmost best to fight against the the selling of fake products here. We have in Mauritius a policy, what we call the type approval license, which any telecommunication or radio communication, insofar as those equipments are concerned, they have to get that license with a view. Why we have done so? With a view to enable and to ensure that only genuine products are marketed in the country. Any dealer also in Mauritius who are selling IT equipment must get that type approval license before commercializing any IT equipment in Mauritius. So you can see we have that willingness to move towards genuine products. Now we have the regulator, ICTA, who has placed additional obligation on dealers to ensure that any IT product sold is covered by a full year warranty for the manufacturer. Because we want our people, when they buy any IT products, that they get value for money. And value for money, you will get it only when you buy genuine products. That's why I commend the initiative of HP, who has organized that awareness campaign. I understand since morning you're working on that subject. I'm very happy that you are involving you in that process. But on the other hand, I will also say that this battle, we will not win it alone. Government, together with stakeholders, we have together to see to it in what manner we can encourage people to buy genuine. At times, you know, it's a question of affordability also. People, for reasons, for the difficult financial situation where they may have, at times you can see people buying those fake products only to run the market. But as I say, we have to look into it and see in what manner those stakeholders also, those wholesalers also must see in what manner we can help those people, encourage people to buy genuine products by seeing to it that necessary steps are taken to get the price affordable to all the citizens. So gentlemen, once again, I will not be long. I will thank HP for inviting me for the closing ceremony of this workshop. I hope that with the awareness campaign that you have organized throughout the day, this will help people to be more health conscious, to be more conscious also about the risk that we have, and also in what manner we can help to keep Mauritius clean and to avoid using things which are not genuine. I will thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Minister Pide. I'll be taking it from here, from now on, for a panel discussion that will last for roughly 45 minutes, because we actually a little bit stressed on schedule, right? What we are going to do is that we're going to have very brief presentations by three of our panelists here that I'll be introducing very shortly, and then the floor will be yours to ask any question, be it from the legal perspective, from the business perspective, or from the IPR perspective. Let me just introduce the panelists. For those of you who weren't here before, we have Tina Rose, who is HP's anti-counterfeit marketing program manager for printing systems, supplies in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. She has over 18 years experience in the anti-counterfeit field and has worked as an in-house brand protection manager for Polo Ralph Lauren and Philip Morris, amongst others. We then have Sanjeev Rabaran, whom you most probably know. He's a lawyer, heads the local law firm Jodis, which specializes, amongst other fields, in intellectual property rights. Sanjeev, in recent history, you might remember, has been on the forefront of the Ralph Lauren's endeavor to protect its IPR in Mauritius nearly 10 years ago. Still going on, I guess. Then you have Vincent Bourrelli. Vincent Bourrelli is channel lead for Microsoft Indian Ocean Islands and French Pacific. He has 20 years experience in the IT business. Shortly after joining Microsoft, it's an interesting thing to know, Vincent had trained the IT unit of the Mauritius Police Force and also the customs unit in knowing how to identify counterfeit Microsoft products. That was not so long ago. So let me just be clear. The panel is already, the floor is already open. If you want to interject, to ask questions, please feel free. I'm just trying to launch the debates, trying to launch the discussions by just maybe cueing Tina on HP's endeavor. You announced today, I think the press release is out, that 4,300 illegal HP items have been seized recently. The general manager for HP Middle East and Africa, Santiago Cortez, when he was in Mauritius in October 2011, that was nearly 2 years ago, he actually said that he was very aware and appreciated the steps that were taken by local authorities to fight fakes. It appears that since 2011 the fight is ongoing. Tina Rose, what would you think are the further help that HP can extend to better achieve, well, to achieve better results, actually?
Okay. So actually, since Santiago said that in 2011, we proceeded to actually register our trademarks with the guys from Customs, so that they are empowered now to actually stop containers which supposedly contain our products, or products that have our logos on them, to basically work then with Sanjeev's firm to verify whether those products are original or not. And obviously that is, as a result of that process, we've started to see a lot of seizures being made in Mauritius, and this recent one that's in your press pack is the latest in a line of very good results that Customs have had for us. So we want to build on that success, and we're doing that in a number of ways. One way is one of my colleagues from the investigations team was going to come back to Mauritius later this year to meet again with the Customs to reinforce what they already know, to update them on anything else that might have changed since they were last given some training, so that they have absolutely the most latest up-to-date information about our products, so we don't waste your time and valuable resources in seizing products that maybe are not counterfeit. But also we have, obviously we've launched this campaign that we're talking about now, and you'll see a lot of that, the results of that coming out in the next few days, to raise awareness with our partners, our resellers, of their responsibility, that they have to basically make sure that they're providing only original products to their customers. We've recently had a session this afternoon with some of our large and medium-sized customers to give them the tools that they need to be able to be sure that when they purchase our products, what they receive is actually our products, and we've given them the tools to do that. But over the next few days in the news, you know, with the campaign that we're running, also much smaller customers and even the guy who buys 2 or 3 cartridges a year will be given some tools and some information on where to look to get more details. It's available in English, it's available in French, so that, you know, everyone who wants to get information can basically get the basic education they need, so that when they're wanting to purchase HP products, what they're actually receiving at the end of the day are HP products.
Thank you, Tina. Maybe I'll just turn to Sanjeev. Tina mentioned small customers and end users, those who buy maybe 2 or 3 cartridges per year. It appears that small consumers actually don't face legal consequences when they use counterfeit products or pirated products. Doesn't that encourage them to buy counterfeit products? And more generally, would you say that the actual legal landscape that we have in Mauritius is an adequate one to fight counterfeit and piracy.
Yes, well, no. Small customers or small consumers also face legal action. Simple matter of fact is there's a bit of a difference between what can happen under copyright laws and trademark laws. If you are under trademark, there is no difference in Mauritius if you import or use something for your personal use or for commercial use. Fake is fake, small customer is small thief, that's all. It's as simple as that. If you can live with that on your conscience, that's a different story, but it amounts to the same thing. Counterfeiting is counterfeiting, whether you're a small guy or bigger guy, the scale might be different, but if it's infringement, it's a criminal offense. That's about it. That's the law as it is today. No need to change anything for that. Of course, as I also said earlier, there are obligations to which the state has committed, Mauritius, in relation to United Nations and WIPO, and there is on the charts for the moment a review of all the intellectual property laws happening. Systems are being changed. The Industrial Property Office is undergoing serious restructuring. Everything is becoming online and electronic, as well as the laws are going to move together with that to be online with TRIPS, which we already partly are, and with the international conventions that we signed, Paris and Bern, famous mark protection, things like that. So yes, whether you're small or big, to answer the question, if it's criminal, it's criminal.
Maybe could you elaborate on the laws that we have, and if they are, should I say, state-of-the-art laws, or if they need any kind of perfection?
Well, the funny part is there are always around the world two things that don't change, whether it's Mauritius or Europe or wherever it is. Two things that always try to get people to change laws is, one, counterfeiters become more intelligent and try to evolve their products to get around laws, so that means your laws need to keep evolving to catch up. And second thing is technology. Nowadays, when look, the trademark and copyright laws came in early 2000 or late 1990s. Nowadays we have cloud, we have internet, we have backup anywhere in the world, we have all this. So it is expected that our laws would move to catch up with this new technology. Look, part of, I'm not talking about only hardware, not only HP, I mean, generally in terms of counterfeiting, you have internet downloads that becomes an issue, you have hosting that becomes an issue, you have all these things as you've heard internationally, what is the liability of the ISP provider, what is the liability of this provider, that provider. So the law needs to catch up with all these things and make it into a fair playground so that those who are genuine have nothing to be scared about, and those who have something to hide, well, give me the power to chase them. Technically that is it. So eventually, yes, there is required a change in law here, but this is like every other country, because technology is evolved, pirates have evolved, and hopefully the enforcement authorities, including us, get the power to chase them where it hurts again.
Thank you. I'll be passing the mic to Vincent in a moment. If you have any questions, please feel free. This is the time. The time will come again. Vincent, Microsoft has quite a rich experience in fighting non-genuine products in the local market. Actually, amongst the technological brands, Microsoft has been, I think, one of the first that came quite forceful on that field. Some of the most publicized bust operations in Mauritius lately have been organized by Microsoft in the recent years. Do you think, maybe could you explain how Microsoft, what's the approach of Microsoft towards counterfeit and piracy in the Mauritian market? And also maybe elaborate on whether any kind of a lateral collaboration is possible between brands like HP or Microsoft to have some kind of better firepower in terms of fighting counterfeit and fakes in Mauritius.
Yes, thanks, Rabin. Indeed, we started the fight against piracy in Mauritius since the Copyright Act was launched in '97. So we have gotten some mileage, I would say, for us, Microsoft, on the fighting counterfeit and piracy, because at our level, it's two separate things. So, and to answer your last question directly, yes, of course, we have avenues to collaborate with partners like HP. We already have, we are already, as Microsoft, part of what is called a BSA, Business Software Alliance. So it's more on the software, so which includes other vendors like Symantec, Adobe, etc. And so to come back to the counterfeit, so on the counterfeit we have much similarities with what Tina has explained earlier. So the same type of identification on what is genuine, what is non-genuine, holograms that are harder and harder to counterfeit. And due to the fight that we have done for the past 15 years, we have seen a substantial decrease in the way in getting counterfeit products, Microsoft products, on the markets, in the streets, and in the shops. So, but now we are facing a different way, and this is where I come to what Sanjeev is mentioning. So, last study that was made by IDC called "Dangerous World of Counterfeit and Pirated Software Study" that was conducted this year. We saw that today, software piracy, 78% of the software piracy comes from internet. So the scope has completely changed from our side as a software vendor. And we need to find new ways, we're already on there, but find new ways to fight that, because there are dangers. The same like for an HP toner, which is fake, can damage a printer. Today, this same study proved that 1 out of 3 computers that running illegal software has been attacked by malware, spyware, and all, even virus. So clearly, yes, we are eager to share our experience here with the local authorities, with the customs and the police force, and yes, we are happy to see that we are not the only one now, and that the others are joining the bark to have a, like the minister said, a healthy and wealthy Mauritius, thanks to protecting IP laws.
What has been the approach of Microsoft in that fight?
Okay, so the approach is also a bit the same what HP is doing. So first thing is education. So we try to educate the people on how, what are the dangers of piracy, what are the dangers of using counterfeit software, how to identify them, and so a lot of campaigns like that. And the second thing is about enforcement. So what you say has been publicized is in cases where people have not been following our guidelines and clearly infringing the law. And on this side, we are collaborating with the Mauritius IT anti-piracy unit at the police force, and also the IT unit to help us protect our IP and conduct what we call raids in some cases for counterfeit. So we just come to a shop and seize all the materials there. And in some other cases, we also do what we call test purchases. So we have people going on the field and buying a product, and then this product is brought straight to the police with an usher, and it's people from Microsoft, like me, or some of my colleagues, come and identify the products and determine whether the product is genuine or fake based on our own techniques, and then if it's infringing the law, the police does its job.
What I wanted to add to this is, you will note that the police, when they raid a shop, like for example, in the case of what Vincent was saying, they don't necessarily go and talk to the owner the first step. They will arrest the guy who sold the PC. Again, it's individual. The raid was made at a company, someone who sold the PC, but it's the guy who sells that also is arrested. Meaning it's a personal liability on the little T customer, as you used to say, because he's probably trying to make his sales target, but that's the law. You're not supposed to change that. That guy who sells that PC spends his evening at, his Mauritian government's expense in jail. Until the next day he's probably taken out of bail or something. But the responsibility is also his. You have sold a fake PC with fake, well, whether it's Microsoft product or Adobe or Symantec or whatever it is. It's a crime. So he's on bail. There's a provisional charge lodged against him personally. This guy has got a serious problem to find his next job.
You have questions from the floor? No questions? Let me just ask one then. Maybe the minister also could give us some insight into that. How, maybe it's a question that everyone here needs to think about. How do we actually educate consumers? How do we educate them and steer them away from the big corporate fight image that anti-counterfeit campaigns or anti-piracy campaigns have usually? Because the usual image that these kind of events have is that it's a matter of big clients, a matter of big money, and people right down at the end of the line are not necessarily concerned. Maybe Mr. Pillay could throw in some words, some thoughts about how can we educate end consumers.
I think this exercise that you're doing today will greatly help towards sensitizing people of the danger that we are having with using fake products. You know, at the end of the day, we are all convinced. We have given ourselves the usual warning that it is important that we buy genuine. But we have to be at the same time realistic also. The cost price, the margin between fake I must tell you one thing, that we want at all costs to eliminate those fake products on the market. We do not want Mauritius to be done with these things. But at the same time, we need the help and support of the stakeholders also, of all those who are importing those genuine products to Mauritius. When you look at the cost between original and the fake one, I think despite all his willingness, taking into consideration that this may be hazardous to his health or to the equipment that he's using, still the customer at times, despite himself, he don't have any other means than to go and buy those fake products. I will humbly request those dealers, if they can see to it that we need their support also. If we want to fight that battle against fake products, we have to get everyone on board to help in one way or another, in any manner whatsoever, to bring the price, because there are certain things that the government can do. Because when any dealer wants to sell any product, it is, if he is selling it at a price which he believes is okay, we have to see whether that citizen-centric attitude, if we are adopting it, if we are saying whether those citizens can buy it at that price that you're offering, please come, we can see together in what manner we can ban these products. And if these products are easily available to our citizens, I don't think why people will go towards those fake products.
Tina, educate or lower margins and prices, is that the question?
I think one of the things to remember about this issue, though, is that a counterfeiter, no matter what our prices are, a counterfeiter will always be able to offer a lower price. So even if you drop any brand owner drops their prices by 50%, then they won't get the same product, first of all, but also a counterfeiter can just drop his prices a little bit lower too. So we're fighting something that's not a fair competition in a way. We're not fighting like with like, which means that there's always this issue there's always this discussion too about lowering prices, but if you're not competing actually with the same product, so it makes it very, very difficult discussion to have. In terms of educating, I think one of the things that we all need to do is to make it pertinent to the end user, the same guy who buys a few cartridges per year, not just the big customers, the big partners, and so on. And I think what we're trying to do here is to make people aware of the personal risks to them, to their health, their safety, their liberty even, if they get involved with buying and using counterfeit products. For example, we have we're seeing an increase in HP in counterfeiting of hardware products. It's still at a very low level compared to the cartridges that we see, but still it's on the rise. And worryingly, what we're seeing for hardware products are counterfeits of things like laptop adapters and batteries for PCs and so on. But those products are not made with decent components, and they're not quality tested, they're not safety tested. And we've seen products, counterfeit products like that, which have actually overheated because there's nothing inside them to actually stop them overheating, and have, they can cause a fire, they can explode, because there's nothing inside them to basically protect the health and safety of the user, which obviously a reputable manufacturer makes sure that they're protecting their customers. So it's not simply a sort of a cost issue. There's also a very real potential safety issue with some of these products that are being manufactured and sold. And I think that's something that when you purchase a counterfeit, often you don't really think what's behind it, who's behind it, who's responsible for manufacturing this product, have they thought about me and what this product might do to me? And the answer is no, they haven't. They haven't thought about you at all. And they don't care about your safety, and they don't care about your health. So you have to care about it, and the end user has to care about it. And I think that's reminding people of that and making them aware of the risks to them personally are what we all have to do. And gradually over time, I think the message will start to get through in any country that we run these campaigns in. It takes time for people to start to consider it, and some people will still take the risk. But what we have to do is at least give them the information so that then they make an informed choice.
Vincent, you were wanting to add on that?
Yeah, I would. I was going to go about the same way that Tina did, and what I can add to that is that it's also a question of perception. Very often, when you talk about fake goods, the people who purchase fake goods, they do it most of the time purposely, and they think that it's a victimless crime. You see, because the only victims would be like the large, rich corporation, or if you take the example of music, for instance, like mega rich superstars. So this is the perception, but the reality is completely different, because buying fake goods affects, in fact, the lives of many other people, innocent people. And if you take, for example, I'm going beyond the software or hardware world. You have fake treatments, medicines, for instance. I know Sanjeev is taking care of that as well now in Mauritius. And imagine how dangerous can be using a fake medicine to treat a life-threatening disease when it has no effect. It's a bit of the same. And also, what I would like to add is that very often behind the counterfeit business, people think that it's like just a reseller, a petty criminal that is making a little money by selling these. But the reality is that behind counterfeit products is always like a very big crime syndicate. This business weighs more than drug trafficking, if you can imagine that, of selling of counterfeit products. So this is huge. It's not just about selling to earn a living. It's about big business and organized crime and money laundering as well. And again, the last thing I wanted to add as well is that people like artists, doctors, and musicians, and computer scientists, and people like that are very respected people because for what they create. And but usually, so what they have is the currency of innovation, and this currency of innovation is threatened by this. So if we don't manage to keep this innovation going, it will bring the whole economy down and the whole innovation process down as well, because they will not earn any money from their work. That was the point I wanted to make as well on this.
Sanjeev was wanting to add something on.
It's always difficult when you are in the seat of government to make calls on this. But look, let's look at Mauritius. Simple. That's my view, personal. Maybe you can compare it to Ireland, actually. Our whole system here, at least of economic development for the last few years, has been based on real estate. I suppose you will agree on that. A lot of construction, buildings, You see the press, always an IRS apartments at 10, 12 million. Nobody can afford anything anymore, but it's still being done. Fine. Imagine that guy, imagine the engine of development then being construction and real estate. Imagine Bagatelle, ShopRite, Croisette and everything. This guy has to pay rent there. This is our model of development. You get the same product being sold in Rosil, doesn't need to pay all that rent, doesn't need to pay anything, and it's fake. How will this building ever get tenants? And how do you want to sustain the economic model of Mauritius? It won't happen. Simple. It's just simple. For me, at least. It won't happen. That's what happened to Ireland. They had a crash because everyone thought, you got to let the people live. Sorry, my personal motto would be, you got to let the people live, but don't become criminals because of this. The idea being, the development model won't be sustained if we don't stop the counterfeiting. That's one. Second thing, okay, I would defend a lot of textiles people. At some point, when we were cleaning up a lot of, there was as you probably know, 10 years ago, there was one brand that was very well known here for being counterfeit, and customs helped us, and we stopped a $7 million turnover industry in 1 year. That's how much counterfeiting of that one brand there was here. 4,000 people worked in it, or even more. It stopped. Fine. But the reaction of it was, people started giving work to Mauritian factories again. I'm talking pure textiles here. Mauritian factories were blacklisted. Nobody wanted to manufacture fashion goods here because the perception was not good. Mauritian factories counterfeit. We can't give them work. So that's the second reason why Mauritians have got work out of it. Positive, I would say. If you want to think of how stopping counterfeit helped an industry, yes, textiles. I can vouch for that because I control these guys now. So yes, jewelry for brands are done in Mauritius. Yes, it never happened before. This is new. 4 years ago it started. These guys never thought of Mauritius because bad perception. Third, health. We found samples here of brake pads with asbestos in it. I cannot see any manufacturer bringing down his price to put that sort of illegal products in. I've seen it. That's 2 weeks ago. So there are certain limits where there cannot be any rationality to say that we can condone this in any other way. So the idea would be, counterfeiting is counterfeiting. Yes, I certainly agree with the Honourable Minister. We all have to work together. Absolutely. I don't think anyone on this table would disagree. And I don't think anyone on this table would say, yes, it's a common fight. It's a common thing also to limit costs. And we should probably get Bagatelle to sit on this table because their rent is part of the cost why things cost that much over there. One example. It's not only the product that's been sold, but it's the whole team, 20 salesmen, whatever. And on that, I think we all agree, to stop it, stop counterfeiting, benefits not only an industry, not only a model of development, and not only health. It's just the way, at least I hope, my kids grow up, and that's the culture they should have.
Thank you very much, Sanjeev. I am made to understand that the waiters at the cocktail reception downstairs are getting impatient and that we need to be there in a couple of minutes. If, however, you do have questions, I'll just open the floor for maybe 1 or 2 questions, or if there aren't any, the Q&A session will be downstairs. No questions? Then I have to thank you for your attention. Thank you very much, panelists.
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming again. So thank you for the Honourable Minister Sarjan Pillay, Sanjeev, Rabin, Vincent, and Tina, Marina, all the distinguished guests. Thank you again for coming. So we have decided to do the cocktail upstairs because I think outside is a bit cold, so you can remain upstairs to have the cocktail. Thank you very much.